Hey, boys and girls. Where the hell's Scott? What happened?
I'm down here in the little bitty box. There we go.
Bitty box. Okay.
The little bitty box.
Weather report for April 25th, 2022. I am 26,042 days old today, and I'm fooled the doctors. Ha ha. Fuck you, doctors. Screw you, universe.
That's right. I'll carry all the weight I want 2 days after my surgery, even though you said don't carry more than 10 pounds for 3 days.
Yeah, I think you'd already left when I explained that I'm not taking any shit from my kidney because I have 2 of them and I only need 1. Right.
And also, didn't you try to jump over a fence and land on it or something?
I probably did, but I can't remember that part. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember? Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Probably hit my head in the process. Never know. So, what is happening today? We have 4 viewers. This is amazing for a Monday, right? 4 whole
Mondays tend to start off slow.
Well, who the hell are they? Okay, we got Wooly Ignorant is usually here by now. We got.
Now, he was here was he here this morning? Maybe he thinks we're not doing a weather report.
Stephen Mangan.
Hello, yeah, Stephen Mangan. I don't know the name, and I apologize.
I apologize
if we have gone across that, and I don't remember. But it's good to have you, Stephen.
He might be that 530th subscriber that I've been trying to find. That I've been looking for.
Make sure it's not some acronym of, or whatever they call it, of Otangelo, or
it could be,
or whatever, somebody anyway, trying to sneak in there.
Hi, Stephen. So yeah, one of the things that's really embarrassing for a person that has a YouTube channel is when there are people that have been coming to your chat forever and you don't recognize them, and or you've just talked to them 2 days ago on another channel, but here's the problem with that. And I had this problem with God, I shouldn't talk about that. But there were a certain class of people. Oh, not the actor. A certain class of people that use stage names, right? Strippers. Okay, they use stage names. I got to know a whole bunch of strippers when I lived down in North Carolina. I mean, like, we'd socialize.
Why am I not surprised?
They'd bring their boyfriend up to my apartment and we'd talk and stuff like that. But anyway, what their stage names, I would never remember because I knew that their stage names were not real. And it's kind of the same thing with YouTube. A lot of people like Gurmania, I mean, like, that's probably not his real name, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to invite that son of a bitch. See if he's got the balls to come in here.
I don't know. I doubt he has the balls for it, because
balls or the breasts. See if he's got breasts to come in.
I hear that you can expose what balls you do have to light, and it'll increase the testosterone in your body.
That's an excellent thing. And here is Loki the kitty. Loki the kitty. So anyway, double rainbow. I am so excited. Today, Derek and Dave Farina were on the same show together, side by side, and they're probably my 2 favorite YouTubers, I think.
Well, that blows my theory that they're in fact the same person. But
yeah.
I'll come up with another theory.
They do look kind of so. Well, maybe okay. This is a deep fake, right?
Could be. You could probably accomplish that with your iPhone.
Yeah. Anyway, so they were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and this is a really, really good interview. It was is it on Derek's channel too? Because I
I assume it was.
think they put it on.
He was doing the interview.
Yeah. So these guys do really good work, and Dave Farina, apparently he talks about some of the, I mean, he hires people and like he has consultants check his work and stuff. And of course he was going after James Tour again, as he should be, because James Tour is, you know, a faker, a charlatan.
Well, I think in his defense, if it needs to be defended, I don't think he does. Derek asked him about it. So
Stephen is an expat living in Turkey.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. And we got Chris Peacock. Ooh, we have 9 people. Anyway, I just wanted to play a little clip from this. So, which may get us talking.
You admit you believe in evolution. I do too. You're an ape. What makes you think you have figured out that there isn't more, right? That there isn't something playing in the metaphysical? How would you answer that?
I mean, it just doesn't mean anything, right? If you want to propose that something exists, you have to provide evidence for it, right? I could make anything up off the top of my head, right? Sagan, I think, who I don't remember who uses this, but maybe it's Dawkins or somebody, but you know, I think it was Sagan, like the dragon. There's a magic dragon in the corner, and it's invisible. You can't see the dragon. Well, okay, why don't we try to have it interact with X-rays or you know, infrared light or something? Oh no, it doesn't interact with those.
Yeah.
Well, what if we do this other thing? Well, it doesn't interact with that either. So if it doesn't interact with anything physical, what's the difference between what you're saying and that it doesn't exist? Right? For something to exist, it has to have some ramifications on what's around it, right? Or it doesn't exist. It's a figment.
Okay. So, I mean, that is really cool. And that is really simply put.
You know, what was it that the first thing that Professor Dave said in response to Derek's question about metaphysical?
The very first thing?
Yeah.
Said, look, you admit you believe in evolution. I do too. Figured out that there isn't more, right? That there isn't something playing in the metaphysical. How would you answer that?
I mean, it just doesn't mean anything, right? If you want to propose that something exists, you have to provide evidence for it.
Okay,
right?
pause.
There you go.
You know, that reminds me of Atheist Junior's live stream earlier today, where they had an Australian or New Zealand sounding apologist bring up that issue where he tried to, you know, kind of twist the burden of proof around to the atheists who says, well, I don't see enough evidence to believe there's a God. I don't know. and so he tried to twist around to say, but because you don't believe there's enough evidence for God, you believe there's evidence for no God or something like that. And AJ did a pretty good job of refuting that. Yeah, boy. Oh, is that your son back there?
My friend's back there. My friend brought me my Home Depot card.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
So we have algorithm blessing us. I use that word as a carryover from my religious days, but honoring us with his presence, or her, cool. Or they, or them. Oh my gosh, I'm in a pronoun quandary.
That happens to us a lot. Getting used to pronouns.
Being assuming, you know, that because there's a male name embedded, or somebody we know as a male, their name embedded in the username that we use he and him.
Yeah, the thing is, reproduction so dominates us as a species that we found it necessary to create a language so that we, differentiated between.
Yeah, and some languages have feminine and masculine designations to them too. So,
Anyway, so we were talking about this, basically epistos or evidence, how we know things. And now, okay, we can say that naturalism is the default epistos, or the default way that we know anything. And I think that's undeniable. It's not just the default for atheists or for naturalists. It's the default for everybody. Because when you want to get a cup of coffee or make dinner, you do so entirely with information from naturalism, from the natural world. When you want to figure out how something happened, like if you go out and look at your lawn and there are furrows all over it, your first inclination is not to look for supernatural causes. Your first inclination is to look for a naturalistic explanation. Now, so anyway, so this is a human over here. So we're looking at this human being, right? This is me, SOS. Okay. And
it's actually a pretty good likeness.
That is a pretty good likeness. And we have this. So the thing is that this human being came to exist 71 years ago. And what people frequently just totally miss in epistemology is that our epistemology is cumulative over time, right? And we never look back, and we have babies as examples today that just got born that can be just like us back here at time 0, right? And here's time 71 years at the bottom. Okay, from time 0 to 71 years, what I did, particularly from 0 to 3 years old, is I accumulated billions of bits of information about how the world works, about what metaphysically is working. That, when I have an object, in front of me, like this pen right here, okay, and I put my hand in front of it, right? The object disappears. Little things like that.
How'd you do that?
How did I do that?
Go away from me. You're not human.
So this is all part of naturalism, okay? And so everybody behaves and everybody determines what is real in the world by naturalistic learning that happened over time, over this period from the time you were born, particularly in the first, 0 to 3 years. That's where we develop our sense of objects, our ability to move and interact, right?
Yeah. I don't know that I would for children who are 0 to 3 years and even a little bit into their 4th year. I don't know that I would consider them naturalist.
Why?
Because I think more their point of view is that of agencyist. They think there's an agent behind things because when they yell or scream or cry, an agent, aka mama or aka daddy, comes to intervene. There are, to their point of view, just living, breathing agents that do something for a purpose, all centered around them. At some point, they encounter culture and get a lot of input, perhaps, about deities, because everybody loves to dress their baby up and go to church with them, especially on Christmases and Easters, and they start receiving a lot of story and encouragement in that direction. So it may just be how much in our more secular culture, it may be how what the mix is between religious culture and what we call naturalism. Some people go to church and enjoy the symbology, but when their feet are on the ground and they're doing daily stuff, they're naturalists. So I'm not quite so sure at this point that
Wow.
children are naturalists. I think they belong to a second category, and that's a group of people who are agency seeking.
And I totally disagree with you. Okay, because
That's why you live in Minnesota and I live in Texas. The world cannot. If we were together, the explosion would be so awful.
it would be.
It would collapse civilization.
Yeah, if we ever got together. Anyway, when baby, okay, here's baby, right? When baby grows up with agents, which are really important, which baby learns about right away. But baby also grows up with a lot of immovable and non-agent-like objects. And baby comes to understand very quickly what is an agent and what is an object. Okay? But babies understand agency, because agency in organisms is really important. So agency is part of naturalism.
Oops.
I understand you in terms of agency. That doesn't mean I'm not a naturalist. I know that you're a thing that can do things that I can't quite figure out just by looking at you or by looking at your hat. Right? I mean,
I can do
else
things
could
with this
happen.
hat. Let me pull a rabbit out. Ah, see, it's an invisible rabbit.
Hey, Scott, I've got to step away for a minute.
Okay. So everybody knows, we're very polite, Speed and I are to one another, but you all know I'm right, correct? Yeah, I'm right, and I'm just indulging him for the sake of maybe someday he'll see the error of his ways and quit acting a fool. So just, I know you all believe that, and I know you all know that. Brainbug, how are you doing? I see you just came into the side chat. Oh, is my beard made of real snow? Yes, it's made of real snow, and I think we've done some tests, and it's only going to melt at around 212 degrees. So if I ever fall into like a spring, one of those hot springs in Yellowstone, I'll lose the beard, but then it won't matter because I'll lose everything else as well. Spooky bad hair, you're coming to terrorize the troops. Now, I went to see, just wondering if we can get some opinions out of people in the side chat. And if you want to just start typing in the side chat and letting me know your reaction. Did anybody here see The Northman over the weekend? That's that movie based on a Norse myth or a Norse saga featuring, I can't remember the guy's name, Omelette. Not like the egg, the egg dish, but Hamlet or whatever. And apparently Shakespeare based Hamlet on that particular character. And I thought it was a very violent movie, which in some categories can be kind of cool. A lot of entrails. You'll see a lot of entrails in that movie. I promise you. If you're looking for that kind of thing, and who isn't? Who's not looking for entrails in their movies? And there was a lot of references to Norse mythology, and I saw an interview with Alexander. Is it Alexander Skarsgård? And he said that he wanted people to understand the way the Norse saw the world, during the first millennium. And I believe with a lot of the visions and dreams and references that were made to Norse mythology, they did a great job too.
I was actually listening, Scott.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh my goodness. I've been knocked out. Andrew finally decided to show up.
Yeah, but he hasn't come in the room yet. I was hoping he would. But anyway, part of naturalism is understanding objects that behave in very complex ways according to agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that goes on between baby and all these objects is that you very quickly learn what you can do as an agent yourself. And the way you come to understand other agents over here is by understanding what you can do to these
Mm-hmm.
unagent objects, right? So this whole mess comes together as, what it is to be a natural organism immersed in a natural world. We understand our own agency, and our own agency is certainly part of the natural world. So some things, like, okay, if you moved a rock and there was something springy under it, right? Like, okay, if there was a bent over tree and you moved a rock off it and the tree suddenly stood up and hit you in the head, okay, that is a kind of agency. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Okay. So, I mean, that is a real simple form of agency. It's something that you would not expect to happen. You can't, you'll get used to the idea that trees are springy, that they pop up after you do it once or twice. But the first time you see a rock on a tree, you may not expect when you move that rock, it's going to snap up and hit you in the head. So anyway. So I mean, that's all part of it, but this building of an opistos, okay, and then we get out here and we got somebody telling us that, oh well, occasionally supernatural things can happen. Just because you haven't seen them happen doesn't mean they can't, which is logically consistent, right? We can say, yeah, that's certainly possible. But then if you've lived for 71 years and you've never once seen one of those things happen, you kind of get to the point where you're going to rely on induction. You're going to say, I don't think it can happen. Show me, convince me. Because the interesting thing about these supernatural events that they talk about is that they could be anything, right? I mean, like out of the set of possible things that could happen, okay, there are, there's basically this subset of natural things that we know based on this accumulated knowledge can happen, right? So we know these natural things can happen. But if you're looking out here and you're saying that something supernatural can happen, that is an infinite set. I mean, that is infinity. So basically, if you want to present something supernatural to me and say, oh, you should believe in it because it could happen, well, that means I should believe in everything because everything could happen once, right? I mean, so why would I believe in all this crap out here? So we end up in, and the way we live our lives, the way you figure out what those furrows are in your lawn is because of this set of natural things which we developed over the course of our life, this opistos, this body of knowledge. And that's all naturalism is but the thing that people they want to talk about naturalism like it's an acquired belief or a faith. No, it's not. It's how everything has always worked all of our lives. It's how we got to be where we are. It's how we got to learn. It's how we got to understand everything that we're doing right now. I mean, talking, looking, turning our heads, picking up objects, all of that. That's naturalism, and I think that's the default. So what I want to do is present naturalism as the default. Okay, not some acquired belief, because there isn't a believer out there that doesn't rely on naturalism 99.9% of his day, his life. Show me, if you can show me one, I'm thinking what you'll be showing me is a person that is in a straitjacket in a padded room in a mental institution, right?
It's sort of like the default operating system of maybe we'll just say a robot who's unaware of his operating system.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. It's an operating system, and it's pretty powerful. Now, I wanted to show something else.
Now, Andrew, the reason why Speed looks unhappy in his stick figure rendition is because you're not here in the room with us.
Because you're not in the room.
Yeah. You stiffed us.
Yeah. Sent you an invite. Wanted you to come in. Let's see. So, I've been looking into something called a hagfish.
Hagfish?
Hagfish, yeah.
Is that like entrails of sheep or something?
Nope. They're actually little fishies. Well, they're not not exactly fishies. They're not true fishies. They're kind of like,
Are they? Do they have something to do with kidneys?
well, eventually. Anyway, let's see. Where are the hagfish out here? Amphibians. I'm trying to find them. Coelacanths. Okay. You see up here, cyclostomata.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're round-mouthed fishies. So hagfish and lampreys. I think it's Mixini and what is the other one? Hypoarchia or Hypoardia. I'm not sure which way you say that. Those things are very, very primitive fish. And they used to think that they never had that basically their ancestors had no vertebral, that they weren't vertebrates. They didn't have a collar. Okay. But there's good molecular evidence that they may have had a bonier structure, but now they don't. Now all they have is that little notochord that runs the length of them. And it just works to keep them to allow them to swim, so they have something to push against.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like they're pretty much pure cartilage. The other cool thing about them is they don't have a jaw, so that puts them in agnatha, I believe. So let's see, these are gnathostomes right here. Those are things with jaws. And then if you go down a little bit further, you see bony vertebrates. And then you see the sarcopterygi. And then off that, we have the ray-finned fish. We are sarcopterygians. And we are rhipidisdians. And we are tetrapods. And we are amniotes. And then we have, and then we have, out of amniotes, we have mammals. And then we have sauria, which is all of the reptiles. Sauria. And the turtles, and then down here we have the crocodilians and dinosaurids and birds, things like that. So that kind of puts. So anyway, cyclostomes are very primitive, and also a lot of them do not have stomachs at all. They just have a tube that runs through them from mouth to butt. So, yeah, and some of them have little ridges to make them digest more. Well, cyclostomes have very, very primitive kidneys. Okay.
Gotcha.
They develop a pronephros and then a mesonephros, and that's what they live with throughout their entire life. So they look like throwbacks. Now, the anti-evolutionists will ask, well, why didn't they evolve like the rest of things? Well, there's nothing about life that says it has to change. Okay. Some things can just stay the same because they have the same problems every day. And that is what gets selected, that particular species. And they will last for hundreds of millions of years. And these guys look like their basic body plan lasted for about 300 million years. So, and that's why I'm looking into them, because they're a very simple, primitive kind of swimming fishy thing, right? And they have very primitive structures. They have a primitive liver. Everything about them is primitive, nervous system, everything. And they just stayed that way because they're successful. Now, the cyclostomes used to be a much greater group, but most of them have gone extinct, except for these, I think maybe 100 or so species that are still extant. So.
And speaking of simple and primitive, hey, Jay, nice of you to come by and see us.
Hey, the spatchcock boy.
Hello.
Hello. What you doing? Yeah.
Huh? Come in, Jonathan. Oh, sorry.
At 8:00 every morning, we're kind of planning on doing a little talk about something, maybe some biology, but a lot of Bible stuff. And Scott is like a biblical scholar.
No.
No, we're a couple of. Well, Scott knows a hell of a lot more than I do. I know nothing about the Bible, but we're trying to understand ancient Israel and the Bible and where this Christian plague came from. So, working on that. I think. Jay,
okay. Sorry, I was listening to my.
Yeah.
You want me to relay a message for you? Yeah, we have an alarm going off on here.
Relay that message.
Relay
for
that
me.
message there, man.
Relay that message. Eh?
Yeah, relay.
Unfortunately, I have to have it on.
Yeah.
Relay
Okay.
that message. You suck. There you go. That's a message.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it's a good way to just get kicked. That's a good way to just get kicked right off my site. Yeah, y'all need to shut up.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone here. Shut up. Shut
I'm on
up.
the YouTubes. Have some
Yeah.
respect.
So ostracoderms are an extinct line of extremely successful bony plated fishes that basically did not have hinged jaws. And I don't think what is that fish? Placostoma or something? Or I can't think of the name of it. Anyway,
Placostomas?
yeah,
catfish?
I had those in my aquarium, but I think ostracoderms are a little bit different. They had these huge armors, but they were kind of like lampreys, and they were kind of like these cyclostomes, except they had built this like huge bony armor around them so that they didn't get eaten. And so they're related, basically. And I can't remember, these show only extant species, the diagram that I have up there, but so anyway, all of that to tell you that I'm studying the cyclostomes because they are very simple examples of how you can imagine what our ancestors were like with kidneys.
You know what I want? I want to know where moss piglets came from. I want to know what common descent they have.
What
Moss
came from?
piglets.
Moss piglets?
Moss piglets. Tardigrade.
Oh, tardigrade.
The tardigrades.
Oh my God, you call them moss piglets. That is just so wonderful.
They came from a galaxy not like ours.
Yeah. They were around for quite a while. Anyway.
Those things are sweet. Those things can survive just about anything. It's amazing.
Oh, I didn't know you could eat them.
You probably have some swimming in you right now.
Oh, man, that kind of makes my stomach flip-flop when I think about it.
Oh, my goodness.
I think they want to test them. I think they want to test them in deep space.
I think they probably have.
Because they can survive like.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Have it? I don't know if they have or if they were talking about it because I know they're classified as, what do they call them, an extremophile. They can live in like just some ridiculously harsh environments. They like go into a form of stasis. They can dry right out. They go into a stasis, and then when conditions start to become more favorable, they just kind of pop back to life. Just okay, we're thawed out. We're good.
Maybe someday they'll be able to do that to us. You know, just dry us out until they come up with anti-aging.
Yep. So
there's a really good little video on them from Zafrank. He did a video about tardigrades.
Yeah, that was great. That was wonderful.
So Jay, you didn't really do any kind of streaming on your channel this weekend. What'd you do with yourself?
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Just kind of took it easy.
Not a damn. We just kind of hung out, watched shows, got some more housework done. I didn't have anything I was really even interested in doing.
Yeah, it's amazing that you hadn't got tired of Jill and them already.
Oh, Jill, I was tired of probably months ago, but that was just long awaited for me to just give up on that idiot.
Yeah.
What is the ISS? Oh, Endangered Species?
International Space Station.
Okay.
In other words, we've had tardigrades in space.
Shut up, Siri.
Which reminds me of pigs in space. So tardigrades in space.
In space.
I think they need to do this. You know how they do these permanent live streams for NASA and other networks? We need to have a permanent tardigrades in space live stream. You know, just like feed in or hook into a microscope and just
tardigrades in space.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I had nothing. I've kept up with a little bit of the Smokey Saint Kylo Ken praise debacle. I find it funny that Praise is using Gavin's divorce and paying his wife $250,000 to get back with him and all that. And there, Jeff, when I mentioned it and Jeff and I were talking about it, all of a sudden we were just the lowest of the low. We were just assholes for doing that. Now these guys just can't get enough of.
Wait a
Isn't it
minute.
funny?
Wait.
Gavin had to pay.
Is that what he came up with? Goodbye, Gary. Okay.
You're on TV.
Or you're on a TV
What was
like
that?
object. Hey, Jefferson.
Hello.
Good to see you, man. Good to
Okay,
have you on.
so Praise just found this out now. I mean, we've been talking about it for 2
No,
years.
no, he didn't just find it out. He knew about it.
But he just decided
freaking-
to start talking about it?
Now because remember, Gavin is on Smokey's side and he's not on Smokey's side. So
Gavin is on
that's
Smokey's
just-
side. Okay. Oh my God.
yeah. So because the lines have been drawn now apparently using that information from Gavin's lawsuit is fair game.
Well, I don't know what the big deal is because if the idea of a dowry is ancient, and so you had to pay a dowry for the second time.
Oh, no.
around with your wife.
No, Scott. No, he got the $250,000 because when they divorced, she had to sell her house, which was inherited to her, his ex-wife, and so they split the profits. And then a couple months later, they met up, and he gave her his share of what they made off the profits of the home. And then they got back together for about a month, and then she said it wasn't working out, so they broke up again. And then he turned around and tried to sue her to get that $250,000 gift back.
Okay, all right. So
Wasn't
I
a
did not know
dowry.
that full story. So it's not a dowry. Oh well.
No, if it's a dowry, it's kind of an odd dowry because it was after they were divorced.
It definitely was.
But yeah, I mean, I found the article on it a long time ago, because I remember I was on Smokey's channel and Smokey was calling me an amoral piece of shit and blah, 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 because I found the information and just couldn't. And I decided I was going to just do it. And then Gavin kept accusing me of doing a video specifically about him, which I never did. Then he was accusing Jefferson of doing a video focused directly on him, which Jefferson didn't. So then Gavin still kept being a dick. So Jeff and I finally decided, all right, now we're going to do a video focused on Gavin. So we did. Well, it only took us like 20 minutes to go through all the information we had on Gavin. It wasn't anything like,
Yeah.
wasn't
it's
like
a
we
real-
doxed it or anything. It was just the articles that were posted in New Zealand from the
It's a
case.
real soap opera type thing with those Christian groups, those Christian YouTubers.
Yep. Just watch just like sands through the hourglass
I know. As the I don't want to say Christian term.
as the world pukes,
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
as
Okay.
the stomach churns. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks
What-
like we have
what I'm trying to say-
Midnight wanting to hop in with us here.
When is Midnight not wanting to ever get on the stream?
I know.
What Jay's trying to say is that we did a great job, and we were never recognized for doing a great job. And then
You're an unsung hero. You're unsung heroes.
Yeah.
we're just beleaguered men of scholarship and men of science, and we were trying to lay out
This is-
a case.
And sophisticated taste.
Yeah, and
Scott,
sophisticated.
this is
taste.
why my brother and I, when we've gone off air, have sat there and talked and discussed. Maybe we're the assholes.
You think we're assholes? Maybe.
That was never the
Maybe.
mystery.
I know I am, but what are you?
The mystery was never like what, because I think our discussions always started with, "Sure, we're assholes. Were we in the wrong here?"
Yeah, you always have to take a good hot shower after.
Oh, I dive right into that bullshit. I dive right in like a truffle pig.
Like a truffle pig?
Truffle pig. Oh.
Pig.
I love that image.
Yeah, not quite. Just snout deep, not balls deep.
Yeah. I love that image. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so I put the link out and I threw the link out there. What the hell?
Hey, have you anybody? This is for the general internet as well as our esteemed colleagues here. Have you ever watched a sci-fi movie called Settlers?
I have not watched that.
No.
I watched that
Oh,
yesterday.
I tried. I failed.
Hello?
You
Really?
failed to watch Settlers?
Oh no!
Ye-
Is that the one where that with the bad ending?
Wait, is
what do
that
you
the one with
consider-
Diego? Is that the one with Diego Luna? Is
Pedro
that about the colonizers?
Pedro Pascal's in it.
Oh, Pedro Pascal. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of The Colony. Never mind. Settlers.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It was a little slow moving.
It was
It
slow,
was-
but I thought it was pretty good because it's to me basically a commentary on how the human race is going to end or whatever.
Yeah, and that was the one with the dark thing where the guy comes in and he ends up having her hostage, basically. And
Yeah.
oh my god,
It's dark.
that was really way too dark.
Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. Come on.
Oh yeah. I didn't say anything. I'm not the spoiler.
All right. Well,
If you don't have the power to forget things, basically on demand, fuck you.
It's like a superpower with me.
yeah.
I mean, you could tell me the whole movie and I could watch it tomorrow and not remember a fucking thing you said about it.
Yeah, what I find interesting is that usually I'm the one on here like, hey, have you guys ever seen this movie? And then I'll like lay it out and I'll give like a 20-second synopsis, and you guys and then like Speed's like, no, I've never seen that thing. It sounds like a piece of shit, and then maybe Scott's like, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna give away any spoilers, but watch that shit. And then we're like, and Scott's like, yeah, this Settlers movie. And Mike is just like, yeah, you know what? It's a dark film, folks. It's a dark
And
film,
Kevin-
and it ends this way. Like, damn
And,
it.
re- and,
Oh. I guess I did
remember-
give something away, didn't I? Oh well.
and remember, everyone, Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Also,
There was a
Tyler
time when
Durden
everybody loved
is
that,
just
man.
one person.
No, it's actually 5 people.
Well, there's 5 people in him. Yeah, sure, but yeah.
No, I know. I really love that movie. How you guys doing?
Doing okay, Midnight. How about you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I guess.
It just seems like there was a lot of good content over the weekend, although remembering specific ones is kind of hard.
I wouldn't say it was good. I know Gurr was on, so let's just take that right out of the equation.
Okay, yeah, that lowers the average a little bit.
Sorry, Gurr. Yeah, I had to get it in.
No, the
You had to
conversation
get it
he
in.
had with Pat was really good.
Oh, Pat Lowinger. Is that Lowinger?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pat
because
Lowinger was on there.
I mean, Gurr is such StreamYard poison now that Dr. Josh even he backed away from that
I
last minute.
know.
He's like,
He
no,
just ducked out and
Don't
said,
want
I cannot do another Gurr. So
yeah, can't do another Gurr stream. Nope, not going to happen.
So who did he talk to, Sean Mock? So we have Lex Friedman, podcast 279, cosmologist in a chemist. So he had Lee Cronin, alien debate. So this one is on information. I would like to find this. Sarah Walker and Lee Cronin.
You're angry, Gurr. Your angry face emoticon is cute, but in no way threatening.
It's like, your anger is nothing. It's nothing but snacks for Jay.
You're just giving me more to laugh at, Gurr. Keep going. Keep going.
No, wait, I am kind of curious though. So was Dr. Josh on Gurr's stream a couple nights ago?
Well, originally
he was
it was-
promised.
Yeah, it was originally scheduled that Gurr was going to have Pat Lowinger and Dr. Josh on, and they were talking about something biblical. And then I can't quite remember the title of the stream, but I think something happened with Dr. Josh. He had to cancel short notice, so it just ended up being Pat Lowinger on.
No, Pat told him that it would be Josh and Pat on YouTube, and then when he heard Gromania was going to be there, that's when Josh quit.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, Josh actually, he actually called me and asked me who Germania was, and I told him who he was.
Oh,
He
yeah,
decided
yeah.
not to go on.
Yeah, Josh really wanted to make sure he You steer clear of Gurr.
Yeah.
I was I had questions ready for Josh and everything. I was really pumped for the Gruss streams, Pat Lowinger, Dr. Josh show, and that just got yanked right away from me.
Yeah, Dr. Josh took a look at Gurr streams and he decided to step away from the internet.
It was my fault. I fed Dr. Josh some information that I thought he should have.
Yeah.
He just needed to know.
Just kidding.
As a professional. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to know because I'd never heard of this Gristrems guy, but now that I have heard about it, now I know to keep my distance. Yep,
keep your distance. You'll catch something.
Yeah, Gristrems. It's not. It sounds a little bit like airborne AIDS or something. Yeah. So
yeah,
Gurr needs to take over for me and just start letting Jill on all the time. If you're going to go StreamYard, Gurr, if you're going to go StreamYard Poison, go StreamYard Poison all the way.
Don't worry about that. Wild Heart's got you covered. Earlier today, he had Jill on. And you know what I mean? There have been many times where Jill has to come on Wild Heart's stream, so don't worry about it.
Of course. Well, listen, that's the thing. See, Gurr, I would call a whore for this kind of thing, whereas Wild Heart, I'd call a slut for this kind of thing.
I forgot to tell you, Jay. I actually went. I went to. It wasn't. Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't Jill, but it was that one guy. That one guy had a stream going on. I think it was yesterday.
This one guy.
Yeah, I was wondering if.
Yeah.
Unless he changed his name.
But he had a stream going on Saturday Tog. It was he had it either Saturday or Sunday. I did go in there for a little bit, not live, but I did join to kind of keyboard warrior for you a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. So
keyboard warrior for who?
Well, for you and for me. You know, being that we're twins, I don't expect that Jill can tell the difference between the two of us. So I was just there to aggravate him.
You mean other than the distinctive names?
Totally different names, completely different avatars.
Wait a minute, you two have different names? Look, Mr. J and
Jefferson Spackick.
Oh wow!
Well, SFB. Remember SFB mod? He insisted that we were the same individual, even when we were both in a stream with Joel. We were the same person.
Yeah. I believe you are the same person. I don't know.
It's fair.
I grew up with
twins.
We're fraternal.
Yeah. We're fraternal twins. We're not identical twins. We don't share DNA.
Speed's taken on like, I've been around twins before, and I know what kind of dark magic you guys like to employ.
Yeah, they're dark magic.
Yeah, right? you're not gonna pull any shit over me.
Yep.
What are you talking about, Jeff? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about Mike.
Jeff, I've talked to you about this before. I've talked to you about giving away our secrets. Now stop.
Yeah, right.
Stop.
So when y'all talk to each other, like privately or whatever, do y'all use your secret twin language?
Secret twin language.
No, we grew out of that a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
No, the one thing that we can count on is that until somebody does what Speed does, where they acknowledge, like, oh, you're not, oh, you had me fooled before. As soon as someone acknowledges that, then we can no longer do the whole "we are the same person," thing. Yeah, they break the spell. So yeah. Other than that. Yeah.
However, I can tell you that talking twin is cool when you're starting to learn to pull the wings off of flies. Parents don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Just kidding. We didn't pull the wings off flies.
And talking twin is no. Sorry. I was going to go someplace completely very, very dark with that. Never mind.
We did do that though. We did talk twin for what, a couple years?
Well,
we had our own language. I know that.
Well, no, it's enough that it's actually a problem with twins because it throws off when they because with most kids, people will try to collect like a sort of set time as to when they go verbal, right? And then when they have twins, it's like, hey, when did your kids start like actually saying like, go past simple words and switch to simple sentences? And I'm like, well, I have no idea because I have these two like, cannibal cultists here that have been speaking to each other in full fucking sentences for years. And they haven't bothered to breach out of it. So yeah, That
Yeah,
that's-
my two learned how to talk really late. I mean, it was like around 3 years old because they communicated with each other, and they were always really like and you could ask them questions and they would like gesture and stuff like that, but they didn't really care to talk to us. I don't know. But then what they did, they didn't have their own language. What they do is they both talk at the same time. They have
Yeah.
one conversation between the two of them. And it's the most bizarre thing to keep up with.
Now, were your twins identical? Because I've heard I've heard that twin talk is more common in identical twins than fraternal. Whereas my brother and I did the twin talk thing, but we're fraternal twins.
Yeah, mine are like
more highly evolved.
Mine are rate like 80. They're identical, and they rate up, I think, around 88% according to the Minnesota Twin Study. So they're highly identical. Their DNA is very, very similar.
The Minnesota Twin Study. I want to be involved in that. How do we get involved in that?
You got to enter when you're a little kid.
Oh, damn it! All right.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was this.
Parents failed us.
So there's some people that are very into being twins, and when I had started off as civil service, there was this group of there was a set of twins that was working with us, and they were identical. And then one day I was talking to them, and one of my coworkers was like, Jeff here, he's actually a set of twins, and these two girls are just like, and they're like, wait. Have you ever done this? Have you ever been here? Have you ever been to the California Society of, what makes the twins the twinsiest? And I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And they're like, wait a minute. Are you where's your twin now? And I'm like, my twin's actually in California. And they're like, what? You guys live that far apart? Oh, that's such a bummer. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well, like half the locket is gone, whatever. And they're like, wait, are you fraternal or a identical twin? And I'm like, fraternal. And they're like, oh, so how's your sister doing? And I was like, no, it's my brother. And when they heard that, they just folded. They were just like, holy shit. They were just like flipping out. I'm like, what is going on here? And they're like, they knew all this weird twin lingo. They knew all the studies and stuff behind it. And they're like, you're an effing unicorn, man. Like, fraternal male twins, it's like the lowest of the lowest of the low. Like the fact that you guys even occurred is just outside of
the
low in terms of percentage, or was there a social hierarchy of twins?
Out of the percentage of last I had heard, the percentage of having, so you have you have a certain percentage for a woman to be able to have twins. If they're having twins, the percentage of having identical twins and fraternal twins. For two fraternal males, it's like 5% out of that. Fraternal males are rare. They're the rarest of twins.
Yeah, twins are already kind of rare, but
like fine wine.
The idea of fraternal male twins is like vanishingly slim. And when they heard that, they were just like, oh, you should have really been involved in this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, okay, but I'm like 15 years older than you. And when I was a twin, this was considered a curse. And you guys are like walking around at conventions and stuff like it's an identity thing. I'm like, I'm a twin. For me, it wasn't that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the twin study started about the late 70s. And my kids were born in 81, so we got them in on the ground floor. What they're most I told them this. What they're most interested in is when they die, because they're going to follow their entire lives, right? But
awesome.
This whole day today has just taken a dark turn.
Yeah, the one thing they really want to know is when twins die, basically, and what happens to them together. And I've heard that identical twins frequently die within 3 years of each other. It's really highly.
Jay, I guess you and I will be watching the skies when the other one perishes.
I'm loading my gun in fear right now.
Right.
So, has anyone ever done, to your knowledge, any studies of the quote unquote linguistics of the twin languages? Is there anything that can be said scientifically about them, or linguistically?
The one explanation I heard about it was that it's not actually a language. It's essentially a way for two people who are very, very simpatico to communicate to each other in almost complete emotional verbiage, and there's no like it depends. Like for some people, they develop like a complete language. There's like something syntactical and structural going on, and for others, it's just like no, it's entirely intuitive.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
Well, to give you,
I have no idea which one we
well, to give
have.
you an example, at the age of like 2, I remember my memory of this event was different than my mother's, in the sense that my brother and I were walking through a large, like a flower garden, and it was at this house that we were renting, and my parents were renting it, and Jeff and I were like, I think 2 or 3 at the time. And I think we were still doing Twin Talk. And I remember the conversation that him and I were having, because he specifically told me he wanted to kill a bumblebee with his bare hands. And I told him that was a mistake. And he did it anyway and got his ass stung.
Those are lies. Lies.
Yeah. And then you told mom, yeah. And then somehow or another, you told mom got the impression that you were trying to pet the bee.
I was.
No, you were not.
You're trying to kill
And
the bee.
speaking of, holy shit, speaking of bumblebees, Christ on a cracker, that thing's.
You saw one?
Somebody get Brain Bug on the phone. This thing is massive.
We need a brain bug. Is there a brain bug in the house?
Put them on camera. Put the bee on camera.
No, so yeah, I mean, as far as like twin stuff goes, I have no idea. I would be inclined to think that there's some magic behind it, but
Everything is magic.
So 47% of 24-month-old identical twins had a language delay compared with 31% of non-identical. So apparently it's a problem for both. And I'm guessing it's because of your peers.
Guys, I'm being attacked. This thing is huge. This is a bumblebee. It's butterscotch colored.
Is it one of those murder bees or murder wasps?
No, it was like a large carpenter bee, but instead of being black and yellow, it was like butterscotch colored. But it was about 1.5 inches long, probably about half an inch wide. The thing was huge.
Wow. We do need an intervention with brain bug.
Yes.
I don't know if he was loaded up with pollen or what his deal was, but he was massive.
He's been snorting pollen all day, so he's all hopped
So
up.
I didn't see the face. I know that I think the males are normally, I can't remember if it's the males or the females. The males or the females, one of the two have a white dot on their head. That's how you can tell the difference.
When you've been bumping those rails all day long.
I flip them over and look at their junk.
I'd love to have watched you wrestle this guy.
Take a look at the nads. Like, yeah, that's.
He'd have given you a run for your money, Speed. This guy was no joke.
Okay.
Big.
Yeah, he could probably strong arm me.
He was hung like Burt Lancaster. I mean, he was just something else.
Yep, something we found in the yard.
By the way, Burt Lancaster was legendarily hung.
He was legendary, really?
Well, him and Milton Berle. Yeah.
Wow. Things you learn
on
the weather report.
I'm just trying to say that because I'm thinking like between my peer group and your peer group, that's a name that you're going to recognize. I don't know about some of your listeners. Like,
yeah, that's actually closer to my mom and dad's age, I think. Well, yeah, I guess he was around. He overlapped quite a bit. I don't know.
You must have seen some movies with like Burt. Like,
yeah, like
the Sweet Smell of Success or
Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Or Field of Dreams, great movie. That was it.
That's the one movie that you can count on that I will tear up in, because at the end where and this will be a spoiler again if you haven't seen it, at the end where Ghost Dad asks Kevin,
like to have a game of catch.
Kevin, yeah, you want to have a catch.
Yeah.
And then I just break down. And I don't know why. That probably says something about me. I probably need some therapy.
This is the first movie I ever saw Jeff cry to. That sappy bitch.
Yeah, that movie.
It was the part where it's like when Darth Vader is telling people like, people will come, Ray. gather around the field, cheer their heroes. And at that point, I was just like, oh, he's right. Oh my god, that got it
No,
from me.
that's
Like
not the
that.
part. That's not the part you cried at. Don't lie.
Yeah.
That's where I started crying. That was the part that did it for me.
Oh well, I think you're full of shit.
There's a lot of cryable moments in Field of Dreams. There doesn't have to be just one.
Right.
It's not a game, man. It's not like people have to win at crying.
There's no finish line. There's not like a medal given out at the end.
If I even see like a 30-second commercial with a parent and a child, I will cry. I cry over parent-child. My parents must have been fucking horrible because like it tears me up every time. It's like, what the hell did they do to? I have serious fucking abandonment issues. It's just like,
what is the most? Okay, so that's a good question. What is the most tear-inducing film? What's the most cry-inducing film that you think that you've seen? Like
simple.
I would say it's a
Simple Twist of Fate by Steve Martin or Groundhog Day. Those two movies tear me up.
Groundhog Day tears
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's an
I would
endearing
say-
quality about Groundhog Day, but I don't know that it tears
I
me
would-
up.
I was going to
that's
say.
interesting. Yeah. No, I get that.
I was going to tie it with What Dreams May Come and Schindler's List, not Groundhog. Groundhog Day is the furthest from my.
Jay's going for one of the harder core tear jerkers.
And the other one that I tear up in all the time is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
What on earth is going on
It's
with you,
Jeff.
Speed?
Jeff. It's the sign language.
I don't know.
As soon as he hears the tone, he's just like weeping.
Yeah, but
Is it bad? Is it bad that I actually remember how to do that? The sign.
Yeah, it's bad. So Simple Twist of Fate and Groundhog Day are my favorite movies, and I cannot watch them because my throat chokes up in the opening credits. That's how bad it is.
Simple Twist of Fate. I don't know that I know that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a note of that.
It's based on Silas.
Here's what I found.
Oh, fuck you, Siri. It's based on Silas Marner. It's based on Silas Marner. It's about a greedy man who's got gold coins and he encounters a child and it changes his life. It's just a wonderful film. Steve Martin wrote it, and he wrote that and Roxanne and one other in the same era, and he took classics.
So when was it written?
Oh God, it had to be in the 80s.
Yeah, but he didn't. Yeah, but Roxanne isn't Roxanne just based off Cyrano de Bergerac?
I think so. Yeah,
it's just Cyrano.
Okay, so Silas Marner is what Simple Twist of Fate is based on. That was a greedy old miser, right?
His life was emotionally closed off from the world until an orphaned baby showed up at his house. When a baby shows up at your house, you just don't have a chance.
If you want to get Speed teary-eyed, just do this.
There we go.
What? Oh, did you do the? Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, you're making me cry, dude. Making me cry.
Stop doing the hand signal, you ass.
We see what moves me was the big pile of mashed potatoes. That stirred me.
Oh,
Except you didn't put enough gravy on it.
Yeah, I know.
My whole problem with that scene was like, those potatoes are dangerously deprived of butter.
That was abuse of Spuds right there. That was Spud abuse. Yeah. That was horrible.
Yeah,
and that is a law in Idaho.
Oh, my son had us over for Easter dinner, and he had a one or two. I think it was like a two cup jar of melted butter ready to go on the potatoes, and I was so proud of him. It's like I raised you right, son.
2 cups of melted butter.
I use like 6 cups or 8 cups of melted butter on my potatoes.
And how many pounds of potatoes?
What do you mean pounds?
Not tons, the less.
he measures his potatoes in pieces.
No, I mean, what do you mean by plural with that? Like with a pound.
Wait, he's saying you use like 6 pounds of 6 cups of butter with one potato?
No, he changed it. He was like, what do you mean by pounds? He's putting that much butter in a pound of
8 pounds.
Per pound. Per pound.
Where do you get this plural shit?
Okay, here's a quiz. Who can name the scientific study of pollen grains in the geological or archaeological record?
Name it?
I didn't know there was a name for it.
Oh, I know what it is.
they
The
did it.
pollen grain study.
I have no idea what he's referring to.
You guys you're nerds if you can. I mean,
I know.
sorry.
Sad to say, I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, that's it. Let's ask the guy that went to seminary about a geological study.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask me something about axe, for fuck's sake.
So
Ask me about
a name
axe.
for it? Oh, pelenology. Pelenology?
Pelotonology, the study of the psychology of people who buy Peloton.
So, is it pelenology? I've never heard of it.
I didn't fall for that. I didn't fall for that trap. That Peloton cult is dangerous.
Is
I
it
went Nordic track.
I'm just wondering for people who are interested.
Paleontology.
Oh, I Googled that shit, man. I Googled that shit.
I mean, if you Google Washington or JFK, you can get some really interesting history from the Neely brothers. Watch those videos; they're very good.
Yep. Oh hell! You know what, guys? I think we should shoot it in the head.
What?
Yeah.
Well, he did one earlier, Jeff. And we're just burning up fucking hours right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff was there this morning, so
Yeah.
I was. I checked in. Yeah.
So
just want to
Scott,
give
are
you
we
credit,
going to try
Jeff. We appreciate you showing up.
I got the notification, but I said fuck speed.
Yeah. I can see that.
No, I was actually doing other things. That's why I didn't join.
That sounds exciting, though.
Doing other things like your hand.
Oh,
I just want to go order some mashed potatoes somewhere.
How'd you know?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes do sound good.
Yep.
However,
Yeah,
I
why
can't
am I
have
crazy?
potatoes anymore.
See, now when I do mashed potatoes, I do butter and I do either Duke's. If I can find Duke's mayonnaise, I prefer Duke's mayonnaise or Hellman's.
On mashed
And
potatoes?
in it, I mix mayonnaise in it.
In your mashed potatoes?
In it.
Mm-hmm.
In it.
I've never heard of that.
Huh. I've heard
Not
it.
not Miracle Whip. Anybody
Not
who thinks
Miracle
you're using fucking Miracle Whip in your fucking
Miracle Whip.
potatoes,
Don't
you're
even
wrong.
say Miracle Whip. Oh my God, that's trailer trash.
Miracle Whip is an abomination amongst all the gods.
What about
I
Cool
agree.
Whip?
And yeah, also gross.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
I was at Sam's Club or some grocery store and I grabbed Miracle Whip by accident and I brought it home. Never read the fucking label. Opened it up, put it on my sandwich, bit into it, and I fucking near died. It's just like, oh my God.
Well, then maybe you
It's
should
got
sue
in
them.
my
Maybe
mouth.
you should sue. Maybe you should sue the company because you
It's like
died.
it got in my mouth.
Well, okay, you nearly died.
Holy shit!
Hey, you wanna- if you wanna-
garbage?
Speed, if you want a taste sensation, you do Miracle Whip with dill relish in it, or put dill relish.
Ooh,
Ah,
Miracle. Who the fuck invented that stuff? What were they thinking?
I think that
People
was a
who are
World
very
War
bored.
II thing.
My guess is, and I've told this to people before, it's basically Thousand Island dressing, but they went less ethnic because they didn't put paprika in it.
Okay. I don't know what the hell's
I always thought that Thousand Island dressing was just when you left the Miracle Whip in the sun longer.
The Thousand Island dressing is basically Miracle Whip with relish and paprika to color it. That's it. Miracle Whip doesn't have relish and it doesn't have paprika, but otherwise the the flavor profile is kind of in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Or as the news guy in Arkansas when I was growing up said, Miracle
Get off
Whoop.
the computer.
Miracle Whoop.
Miracle Whoop.
Miracle Whoop.
So my fucking cat decided to stand on my mouse pad and stretch. And it was just like fucking going all over the place. And I look over there and all I can see is his asshole. You know? It's like, get the
Oh,
fuck out of here.
look at
I'm
my
having a bad day.
look at my anus and despair.
Oh, fuck.
I spent 2 hours cleaning it just for you.
Yeah, another. I love it when they show that to you because they're like, I can deposit what comes out of this into the scented sands you provide, or I can place this on your favorite socks. Your call. Feed me now. Yeah.
Okay, I want to shoot her in the head. I think I want to go for a walk.
Wait, Speed, it's too
Well,
early.
No, it ain't.
No,
Yeah, it is.
Never
6:10.
really.
he's had a lot
11.
of exposure to Jeff and Jay.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
So Jeff, are you gonna do anything this evening?
Oh no, nope.
Okay. Before we go, you know what? I just noticed this now, but Scott Duke actually kind of looks like Comstock from Bioshock Infinite. Now that I look at it,
Okay.
I don't know who that's referring to.
The first time I saw Scott on camera, I was immediately I started getting images of the very opening sequences to the movie Snatch.
When I heard
Oh,
Scott's
yeah.
voice,
Yeah.
But
they
it's
were-
like-
hang on, I'll find them. Okay.
Snatch.
Yep.
when
It's
I
a Guy
heard
Ritchie
Scott's-
movie.
When I heard Scott's voice the first time, I thought, like, well, that's the tone of voice that I'd like to happen, in a dad. And then when I saw that great big beard, my first reaction was, Dada.
Hey,
He looks like-
okay, Speed. Hold on a second.
Scott looks like the friendly exorcist that gets his head turned 180 degrees by the evil demon possessing the 8-year-old child.
Hey, Speed. Can you screen share for a sec?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
thing. That's a good thing.
That's good.
Scott.
Scott, this is you.
Okay, hold on.
This is what you
I
look
can't
like.
find me.
Zachary Hale Comstock, right here.
Oh wow, yeah. I need to grow it a little longer. I'm
Yeah,
doing
the beard's. Yeah, his beard's a little bit more formidable, and he doesn't top things off with the black cap. I think Scott's got it. I think Scott's got the look beat with the cap, with the hat.
Yeah, that's who you just reminded me of. Zachary Comstock. I'm really gonna play that game again.
Hey, I've been there.
Yeah, this is where all the shit happened. This is where the bad shit happened.
I was down there. I was down there at the tip.
Were you?
I've been there
Yeah.
before. I've been there
Sinai.
before.
Yeah,
but,
you got. So that's the Sinai Peninsula right there. I was stationed in the southern portion right there, right off the Red Sea.
Okay.
So yeah,
very cool.
Yep.
I mean,
So
Did,
up
did you
above
find
that
any
is-
sign of the Exodus?
what's that?
Did you find any evidence of the Exodus?
No, we didn't go searching for that. However, the reason that the multinational force and observers is there is to keep Egypt and Israel from fighting over that piece of land. So that's the reason we're there, along with other. There's Australians there. There's French. There's New Zealand. There's multiple. That's why it's called multinational force
did you
and
find the man-
observers.
Did you find the man in the canoe?
No, but I did on our 2 days off. We went up to we traveled from there up to Eilat, Israel, and on the way up there was something weird swimming in a body of water on our way up. I don't know what it was, but it looked weird.
A behemoth. It was a behemoth.
Behemoth.
You didn't find the man in the canoe.
No,
Yeah. So Scott got a bunch of books that talk
they
about.
find lots of prostitutes.
So you got a bunch of books that talk about some of the shit that was going on back here when they wrote the Bible, and we became interested in that. And I guess this is this thing right, this little wedge that is where the Sinai Desert was, right above this. Okay,
Yeah, right where that highway is.
so they like
We got a highway
wandered.
going through it now.
Okay, they wandered around that fucker for 48 years. What the fuck?
And they picked up their trash apparently.
Were they lost? I mean, would they go in circles or like?
I guess they had to go in circles or stay at certain encampments for a while. But the whole premise was that God was mad at them, so he waited for one generation to die out and another one to come up before they went into
Oh,
the
that's right. Yeah,
promised
I remember
land.
reading that. This is all just such interesting stuff, and yeah, it's really cool. But then, yeah, there's a lot of interesting things when you start looking into what they wrote about and how what they wrote about had less to do with when it supposedly happened than what was happening when they wrote about it, right?
Mhm.
So like it was 8th century type politics and things going on, and they were writing about what 10th and 11th century BCE, I think, right?
Yeah, a little further back too, because 10th century would have been David and his stuff,
Right.
and then so you go even further back, go back 400 years or so to the time of the judges, and right at the end of the conquest. So yeah, it goes back pretty far in the timeline that believers have come up with. But what seems to be happening in biblical archaeology is it looks like they were using the framework or the conception of the world as it was in the, like you said, 8th century and 7th century to tell a 13th and 14th century story.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of anachronisms. The Edomites. Oh man, all those names. The Edom, which were the children or supposedly the descendants of.
Zoom in more.
Say what?
Speed. If you zoom in,
Oh,
like if you switch to like Google Earth and you zoom in at the southern section, the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula, look for Sharm el Sheikh.
So who was
exact spot where Jay used to touch?
Here it is, right here.
Who was Jacob's brother? Esau. The supposedly the children of Esau. Well, the Edomites were more of a 8th century group of people than somebody you would find
It looks like it right there.
in the
That's it. Sharm el Sheikh.
1500s or whatever BC.
Yeah, the camp, MFO camp, is right next to the Red Sea, so it's just a little bit.
It looks like a resort. What the fuck did you?
Sharm el Sheikh's got. Well, Sharm el Sheikh is a huge tourist center. It's a big dive location. So we get there's Japanese, Korean, Chinese, Russian, Ukrainian, all sorts of people from Turkey, all that. They go out there to on vacation and go diving in the Red Sea.
What is all this like tan shit around here? That's all like desert. That's sand.
Yeah, but zoom in a little bit more. I'm trying to.
Here's a resort. Here's the golf course. Here's the Martin Joey.
So do they have like an amusement place where
Go.
they've part the Red Sea so people can cross it and things like that?
Where do you want me to drive to?
Trying to think. If that's New Charm, you have to go south to get to the camp, the MFO camp.
Well, they could do a whole amusement park. Like they could have the for the snack bar, they could have manna from heaven. Call it.
Well, we were told when I was over there, we were told to specifically stay out of certain clubs because they were run by nightclubs because they were run by Russian mafia.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit further south. It's right there along the coast there.
Okay, so there's Aladdin Casino. It looks all touristy now. You said there was an air base there, or you were stationed in what?
It's Multinational Force and Observers is right. It's a smaller camp, but it's right there on that. It's in between Old Sharm el Sheikh and New Sharm el Sheikh. Old Sharm el Sheikh was south of it. New Sharm el Sheikh was north of it.
Okay, it's all they got is resorts now. It looks like.
Yeah, it was getting built up when I was there. There was a lot of buildings that hadn't even been finished. Yeah. But I know if I look for it myself, I can actually I can use Google Earth. I can actually locate the towers that I actually spent time in. We would have to do guard tower watch right there on the water.
Wow. So here's the Barracuda Bar. So that's a highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were told the safest place for us to eat was Hard Rock Cafe. Still didn't change anything. A bunch of people who still got the Sharm el shits.
Oh.
That's what they called it. or they would sometimes call it the Sharm el shits or the Sharm el shakes. It was a really bad case of people in that region, they wipe with their left hand, so they don't have a lot of hand washing is kind of a new concept to them. And some of those people, when you train them for restaurants and stuff like that, it's hard for them to break those habits. And you have to really break them up.
Is that a masculinity thing? Washing hands?
Well, when you actually watch someone wipe their, you actually see them behind a bush, wipe their butt with their left hand, and then basically scrape the excess off on the ground, their hand. They use the dirt to scrape it off their fingers, and then they just pull up their pants and they carry on. That's why it's offensive to offer your left hand to an Egyptian, because that's the hand you wipe with.
Oh my God.
You're killing me with that imagery.
Killing me.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me too.
We were also
I
we
went,
were also
I
told
went and washed my hands while I was listening to what Jay was saying. I just washed my
we were also told by the Egyptians that if you hit someone, by the Egyptian military, that if you hit someone, because they have this kind of like Allah's will be done kind of thing. So when you're driving, and they'll just step out in front of you, and if they get hit, then it was Allah's will. But if you stop to aid, they'll kill you. They'll stone you. So you just kept on going.
Yes, inshallah.
With all that desert, I can see why they're so fucking crazy.
So do they kill you because of honor?
Yeah, it's a blood debt. Similar to like the Hebrew blood debt.
Wow.
Yeah, if you killed someone, you just kept driving.
Yep.
Wow. It's a whole different world over there.
It is.
I can't believe you didn't. I'm really mad at you, Jay. I can't believe you didn't find the leftovers of the Exodus.
Well, I think they were probably further north, I would hope.
Yeah, you could have at least taken a weekend.
As a twin team, I found them in Japan during my explorations in Japan. So
okay. Tonight, Scott, I'm going to try to find that Sal Cordova has that friend who's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Him. Mm-hmm. And he thinks that there's all kinds of archaeological evidence for the Bible. And I want to hear what his evidence is.
Well,
because reading that book.
Now, what's his PhD in?
I don't know. I think
is it apologetics?
Probably.
And not archaeology?
Probably. I don't know.
Wait, it doesn't. Wait. They haven't figured that one out yet. That just because you have archaeological evidence that confirms a particular narrative or narratives in the Bible doesn't necessarily demonstrate that the Bible is true in the sense that a God exists or that Jesus rose from the dead. Those are different claims.
Right, but it's worse than that. They can't even verify the fucking events, the history. So you'd think they were talking about something that actually happened, but apparently, the numbers are all wrong and the dates are wrong and everything is wrong about it. The only settlements they found like a 4 square block settlement in one place, but it was like 300 or 400 years prior to when they claimed to have had a big.
Yeah, I know dating. Yeah, I know dating. Yeah, I know dating differences come into play with those. But either way, this has been brought up. This has been shot down by I don't know how many times in conversations where you have Christian apologists saying, "Well, if you find one thing, it's almost like they're appealing. If you find this one thing where you can go to extra biblical source about a particular artifact that verifies the city of Jericho, therefore." God. All the Bible is true. Right. And it's just like, that does not even work that way. That's not how that works.
No, that's not how that works. But, what is interesting about tacking it to actual locations and actual timelines is that then you can understand the culture where the text was written, right? And then you have a political climate and you can understand what the hell they were talking about. And that becomes really important when you're trying to understand what the Bible is on about. And I'm telling you, I don't understand how anybody who is a Christian can start reading about archaeology in the Bible and still believe anything about this being the Word of God. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know.
Has anybody been watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial?
What?
I have not. I've seen some headlines about it and things like that, but I figured.
Hey Jeff, did you see the one where he's talking about how she took a tip of his finger off by throwing that gallon bottle of vodka at his hand?
Yeah,
or at the bar.
It's been funny. Yeah,
What are we talking about?
There's an actress named Amber Heard who was
Just went.
married
There was
or
no.
lived with Johnny
There
Depp.
was zero. There was zero segue there. We went from archaeological evidence in the Bible, or to prove the Bible is true, to Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
That was a pretty rough pivot, I have to.
That was a huge pivot.
Oh, shit. You know, God, I think you fucked up my inner ear doing that.
I don't even think that was a pivot. That was like just jump right to the next thing. There was no pivoting involved. It was just fuck this conversation. Go over here.
Okay. We're gonna pivot to shooting it in the head right now. So
Shoot that motherfucker.
that's where we're going. Okay, goodbye, cruel world. We'll see you guys.
In atheism.
Inshallah.